an interesting statistic I found. 5 out of every 10 victims of defilement were abused in school. 4 out of every 10 girls in senior high school have had sex forced on them. If you think that this was far away, this survey was done in the Ga East District here in Accra. So today we meet one of these victims. She is 9 years old and in class 2. She was preyed on by her teacher. And like anyone who was attacked, she fought back when this was going on because this man was trying to put his fingers in her nether regions. And she was fighting back like any normal person was. She fell off a table and she was paralyzed as a result. Maxwell Agbagba visited her family and gathered the story.
I am at the Kaswa residence of the Class 2 pupil. Family members are seated discussing their next line of action. Very close to them is the victim seated in a plastic chair covered with a cloth. There is a pillow supporting her back with her 2 legs resting on a kitchen stool. As she stretches in the chair, tears begin to flow. She is in pain. The 9-year-old girl says on the day she reported late to vacation classes, her class teacher offered to teach her what she had missed, but ended up inserting his fingers in her genitals.
There were some children playing in the classroom where he took me. He sacked all of them. I told one of my friends there to wait, but the teacher disagreed. When I started writing, he came closer and rubbed his hands in my head and said my father has asked him to provide all my needs. He put me on one of the tables and started inserting his fingers in my genitals. It was painful. I started struggling with him. In an attempt to flee, my pelvis hit one of the tables. I fell down and later ran home with my younger sister. I was scared to tell my mom.
Mother of the victim says her daughter complained of headache some weeks ago, but was scared to tell her about the assault. She later confided in another family member.
She complained of headache some weeks ago and later talked about pains in her legs. I asked her if she had fought with anyone. We later took her to the hospital, where the doctor told me she had been sexually abused. She later narrated her ordeal to one of my relatives. The suspect's wife has been pleading with me to resolve the issue at home, and she even promised to cater for her, but we disagreed.
We moved to the home of the suspect to hear his side of the story, but were informed he was not around. I called the suspect's wife, who was with him at the time. After introducing myself, we requested to meet them. The suspect's wife told us she cannot give us directions to their location. When I suggested we hear the suspect's side of the story via the phone, she dropped the call and did not answer the subsequent ones. Our checks at the Kaswa office of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit revealed they have taken up the matter. However, the investigator working on the case said she cannot provide us with details. She referred us to her superior, who we were told was at a training program in Accra. Our calls and text messages to her remain unanswered. Some extracts of medical documents seen by Joy News stated, quote, "Patient presented with inability to walk after her teacher allegedly inserted his finger in vagina. Medical examination showed a partially perforated hymen with no tears or lacerations," unquote. According to the statement, the patient is still unable to walk despite pain medication, and she has been treated for pelvic fracture, urinary tract infections. Family members of the girl are now racing against time to raise money for the 9-year-old girl to undergo treatment at the Winneba Hospital, where she has been referred.
And that was a report by Maxwell Agbagba. Now, Maxwell did not end it there. He's been speaking with the grandfather of this 9-year-old girl. And this is what he found.
It's about a month ago. But then I was at work site at Dawinya. Then the mother called me. And she told me that, okay, this is what has happened. Then I have to send the money immediately to send the child to hospital. She did so. That was on a Monday. And the following day, she called again, and she needed money. I sent her, and she gave me more reports concerning her daughter. I said, no, this is a different story, so I have to rush down. So I came down myself, find out the situations of the kid was so bad. So really, I keep on sending her to hospital, and then they refer her to polyclinic, Kaswa Polyclinic. It is there. We keep on doing it, so they keep the girl on bed. So see to the situation. By then, I've diminished all my money. So by referring her to the Winneba, presently I don't have money. And he was arrested and detained in the police custody before I went. So when I went, I know the guy very well, and then the wife. She started begging me that what he did, he doesn't know what also said, forces him to do that.
Who was that?
The accused.
The accused. What did the accused tell you?
He told me that, I know the accused very well, and then the wife.
Yeah.
He told me that he begs me I should forgive him. I should forgive him. He doesn't know what exactly happened to him before he did that to the kid. I said, what?
Well,
Close.
the CID that before he...
Yes. Yes. So,
the CID was there when he was...
yes, including the wife and then another relative. So it annoyed me. He did so with the wife. When he said something like that, then they asked him to go back to the cell while he was in a handcuff. He did so. He begged me as the president of the CID.
Okay.
That annoyed me, and I told the CID that he should close the docket with immediate effect. And he closed the file, and they sent it away. So I went out, waiting to extend of time. When he came from the DSP or whosoever, and says, okay, we are going to court. And then we went to court.
But now, has he changed his narration? Is he denying that he actually did that?
Now, that sort of denying wasn't happy to me. Not at my presence, as we went to court this morning. It wasn't my presence. When we went to the lawyer, to the judge or whosoever, he told us that, okay, I should go out, the lady also should go out, and then we should leave the girl alone, including the accused, and then the wife. So how? Okay. We came and sat down. We wait to extend of time. They came and called us. And then they said, okay, we should go home. I didn't understand. So in fact, I'm well boiled out. Then I told the other woman who came and told her that they have joined the case. This is what they told me. But I wasn't there when they said all these things. If I were to be in the room with them, if he's trying to deny, I'll ask him a question. If you didn't do it, the money you brought to the woman's mother, to the girl's mother, that is for what?
How much did you bring?
And then she brought a 50 Ghana when she was released from the police cell. That was about 2 weeks ago. Even she can't sit down on this, even just like this. She can't sit. She can't even sit. Tablet medicine. I bought a lot just to secure the life of the child. Yes. If you have the money, will you keep the money for somebody to die? Impossible. So really, I have to take my risk to do that. Now, for going to the Winneba, I'm not lack of money. That is why I couldn't send her to Winneba. And it's a great headache to me. Yeah, I don't have money. That is why I couldn't send her to Winneba Hospital. Well, if I get money, I don't know how much they will take over there, so and so forth. So if I get some little money, we'll send her to the hospital. Yeah, to find a solution to it.
So right now, you've brought her home. What's going to happen to her?
President, well, the whole issue is that, okay, I'm still finding the money to send her to hospital. at home at the moment. She's not having a medical care. So it should be important for me to send her to Winneba Hospital, as they have referred her to, because I don't have money. I spend all the money. The justice that I want to be done is that they have to deal with the guy. Must be dealt severely. Yes, that's what I want. When I interviewed the girl, so when he went, the neighbors has closed. And the teacher told her that, okay, since she's late, she'll teach her. But being so, and the guy says, okay, send her to one of the rooms, the table, and started fingering her. And then hold her mouth, not to shout. See? Hold her mouth, not to shout. So she was struggling. But this man was able to finger her to a extent. So she was able to narrate a lot to me. Yeah. That has provoked me so much. And then I went to the police station, and then I saw the guy in the cell. Yes.
So what happened to her? Why is she not able to walk?
The way she fell down, and also, yeah, since she was struggling with the man to fall from the table, see, to fall from the table.
I'm gonna tell on you one day, I swear. Can't you see I'm scared? You're supposed to be my father.
Victim speaking to Maxwell Agbagba there. Can't believe what I'm hearing, really, when you look at that. But let's thank our sister station Adom FM. They first discovered the story and they brought it to us. But this is not the only case that has happened this year. Do you remember the Ejisuman SHS incident?
Mr. Isaac Amponsa, he forced me to suck his penis, but I refused. And later, whenever he sees me, he will just spit on my face and sometimes hit me. And anytime he did it, I would feel very sad and very bad too. And my spirit even came down because my parents didn't take me to the school for me to be treated that way. So whenever such a thing happened, I would just go to my dormitory and cry because there was nothing I could do about it, because he had already told me that everyone was afraid of him in the school. And that was very true, because even when a student is repeated and he goes to the administration to talk to the headmistress, the students would be promoted. And if a student had done something bad and that student is supposed to be dismissed, he would just go to the administration and just say something, and the student's issue would be just brushed away. So that made me know that what he told me, that everyone was afraid of him, was very true. So I couldn't get the courage to tell everyone about it. So I would just tell a friend of mine so that she would give me some tips of what I should do. So whenever I see him, I would just run away, or I will not pass where he is.
The day when he made you suck his manhood, tell us about it. How did it happen?
So he just removed his manhood and told me to put it in my mouth and suck it. But I told him that I can't do it. So he didn't put his manhood back into his boxer shorts, but he just used his shirt to cover it because the people selling at the traffic was around the car. He forced me to rub his penis for him. So he released into my palms. So when I came home, I asked for soap and water to wash my hand.
I swear, can't you see I'm scared?
That was the voice of an SHS student who was describing what was done to her. At the time, she was in SHS, but she's not. But
And it's evident that something must be wrong with me. I'm not as happy as I seem to be. The long showers I take don't wash away the memories.
we apologize if the graphic description may be a bit difficult for you to listen to. But well, it is the reality. Note, I want to come to you for some initial comments on this. I was really struck by what the young lady was saying when she said, "This is not what I came to school for."
That's the second one.
Yes, the second
SHS
one. The SHS one.
Right.
So when something like this happens to you, whether you're 9, whether you're 15, what are the things that happen to you as an individual?
Well, Daniel, let me just say, you're brought into the world and you are socialized, right? So you get to understand what is right, what is wrong, okay? And the bearers of that socialization, those who socialize you, uphold some of these things. So when it's these same people who you look up to for direction, then there's a certain psychological trauma if it is somebody known to you. And 90% sometimes of victims are abused, violated by persons they know and trust. So you can imagine what a child goes through when you, an adult, they know and they expect to protect them, are the ones actually hurting them, right? So there's a huge storm, literally, within where you're deciding what to do about this, who should you tell, and what will happen to you if you tell, right? So in the song you're playing, when I was driving here, I didn't quite like the song. I felt, okay, it's saying what we want to say, but I'm like, this is exactly what a victim goes through, especially when they know the perpetrator, right? Because to expose this person who is in a position of power, authority, right, raises so many issues about our system. And so they battle with what I call the cost of disclosure. What happens to me if I tell?
And they are often threatened in the first place not to tell.
Right. And you see, this battle with the cost of disclosure is what we try to set up systems to address, to make sure that anybody who is courageous enough, irrespective of their age, and has been victimized or violated, knows that they're doing the right thing. And I'll say thumbs up to this 9-year-old girl because she spoke. Daniel, I can assure you there are thousands of girls who have not spoken and who may even be hearing this. There are women who have grown up with this trauma and are damaged by it as I speak. So thumbs up to this girl, and let's applaud her, even as we discuss the trauma that's yet to unfold. Let's applaud her and let everybody in this country know that that is the way to go. The process, the legal process and everything is fraught with so many things that raise questions for me, but they can be addressed. But what happens in Ghana is that the society generally, ends up unconsciously endorsing, reinforcing the negativity, such that people will probably be listening to us and say, look, this man will walk. Nothing will happen to him.
Exactly.
And we need to now set up a society that says, hey, it doesn't happen here and you will pay a price. Why did we add social protection to the gender ministry? Why? And as somebody who sat on the domestic violence management board, some of these things are things that we should whip the system into action.
Okay.
There are structures under the system. There's the GES, there's the DOVSU, there's this, there's that, right? And make sure, the same way we are doing this meticulous forensic audit of the financial sector, this also requires a forensic audit. How it happened, has it happened before? Are there other victims? The other one you played, I think there were several girls. Was it that one?
Yes, the one in Ejisumani. There were a number of girls.
Transferred and moved around.
4 teachers were sacked. A number of them were transferred.
What in heaven's name are we doing, right? In other parts of the world, you even buy property, right? And they will tell you the nearest sexual offender. They've mapped it, right? So that as you move into that area, you know whether you are going into a safe area or not. We have not reached that level of sophistication, but there are basic things that we can do that protect, especially our children in school, right? And so I want to start by hitting off thumbs up to this brave young girl, despite her current situation. I'm a bit confused as to what has happened, but I think the process or the procedure is in some form of abeyance, and so the family is left to really dealing with the
because in the first place, she shouldn't even be paying her medical bills. You see her grandfather repeating that he doesn't have money and that is why he hasn't taken her to the hospital. For victims of domestic violence of any form of sexual abuse, they are not supposed to pay when they go to the hospital. But not a, give me a moment there. Let me come to Enima quickly for her comments. We'll go for the Joy Business Minute shortly. Enima, so Note applauds this girl, which is in order, but really,
yes, but even with that point, Note, the thing is, did she speak up because of the abuse, or did she speak up because her pelvis was hurt and she couldn't walk?
It does not matter.
So no,
it does not matter.
But my point is that sometimes when there is no physical evidence of what has been happened, the likelihood of the speaking out is reduced.
It does not matter.
And I say this because, for example, we had the Me Too movement a few months ago, where very prominent for Hollywood stars all over the world had this movement of Me Too, saying that I had also been abused. Now, the thing about speaking up, and eventually whatever the cause is that causes someone to speak up, it's a good thing, and I'm with you on that. But then how do we even train our children so that they do speak up? The other thing is that in Ghana here, we have a certain culture of familiarity, of not drawing boundaries of physical touch. You find that uncles, brothers, cousins will come into the house as a little girl. She's going through adolescence, and we would tease. These uncles would tease, they would slap her bottom, and stuff like that. And in our culture, it is not something that we are as, that we dwell on as much. I remember
we're not sensitive
to it enough. I remember I lived in the UK with my daughter before we came, and there is no way that even it is acceptable on any level for that kind of touch. But when we moved here, it was a conversation that I had to have, and say, listen, nobody can touch you this way, nobody can touch you that way. Regardless of how good it looks, it is not acceptable. But when we don't define those barriers culturally, we're also sort of creating an environment where these things can get overlooked.
I want to I want this to continue. I don't want us to just put a cap on it.
Just one point.
Right.
Listen. Anytime somebody speaks out, and with children, it's a rule of thumb, and I'm saying this very, very strongly. If a child makes a claim, we follow it. Okay? In the presence, the absence of physical evidence or whatever, when a child is bold enough to say something, we follow it. It's a rule of thumb. And it protects everybody. Even if we find out there was a problem with it, you follow it. And when we come back, I'll explain why this is a rule of thumb. Okay? It's very important.
It's very, very important that we hear that. So let's take these important messages, and when we come back, we'll go into other aspects of this. Really, what we want to do with this conversation also is sort of create an awareness of what the teacher-student relationship should be. These are people we trust our children with, and it's important that we deal with some important elements of the story, as in how are teachers chosen, like Enima said, how are boundaries defined, how do you even notice that your children are going through something like this, and all of these issues that we have to deal with this story. So stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show.
Where to next? With Brussels Airlines, the world is yours.
Uncle, you're packing again?
Aha! I swore that in 2018 I would travel more often. And you always have to keep to your good resolutions.
Where are you going?
Family reunions, sightseeing, shopping. With Brussels Airlines, take off to the world. Book by 10 September and enjoy attractive fares to all our destinations.
Brussels Airlines, we go the extra mile.
To be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed, and to provide job to reduce the rate of unemployment. This is my dream and aspiration. I'm Madu, a Nigerian and a young entrepreneur. Today, I found a place where my dream comes true. Blue Crest School of Business. Internships, industrial visits, and discussion forums has really helped me to develop my business career. I invite you all to join the best business school in town. Let's make the business world more exciting.
For ICT, banking and finance, human resource management, logistics, oil and gas, fashion and journalism, choose Blue Crest College. For admission, call or WhatsApp 0263. Visit our website bluecrest.edu.ga. Blue Crest College, education for life.
Join the Laugh Cousin Fiesta with the best of African comedians at Glow Laughter Fest at Fantasy Dome, Trade Fair Center, Accra, 9th of September, featuring Basketmouth, Bovi, Salvador, Senator, Dan the Humorous, Chemical, Shaylo, Godons, Jacinta, DKB, and Foster Romanus. To gain entry, just dial *5301# and use 20 Ghana cedis on voice or 30 Ghana cedis on voice and data within 30 days. Glow Laughter Fest. Don't miss out.
Tickets available at all Glow World shops. The grandmasters of data. Glow Ghana.
Tell what be your thing. Stand big, Brian, yeah, baby. My body, what's your thing? Know your thing. You for do your thing. My body, what's your thing? Know your thing. You for do your thing. My body, what's your thing? Know your thing. You for do your thing. Stand big, man, go help you to do your thing. To do your thing. Go support your thing. Stand big, them go do your thing. Stand big, go support your thing. Stand big, man, go help you to do your thing.
Are you ready for business opportunities from 15 countries? Visit Power Elect Ghana, Construct Ghana, Ghana Motor Show, Auto Parts West Africa, and Ghana Mine Expo from the 6th to the 8th of September at the Trade Fair Center under the patronage of the Government of Ghana, the High Commission of India in Accra, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, Ministry of Economy of the Republic of Turkey, and other stakeholder organizations. Come, network, and establish business relations at Ghana's largest multi-sector international exhibitions and conference. Entry is absolutely free. See you there.
Every day we wait for so many things. We wait for the bus, we wait for our lunch to be served, we wait for the workday to be over, we wait for our favourite TV show to begin. But you know what's waiting for you now? The world. Enjoy Emirates special fares to many exciting destinations around the world and earn double Emirates Skywards miles. Book by 10th September for travel from 3rd September 2018 until 31st March 2019. Conditions apply. Visit emirates.com/gh.
With MTN Protect, this is my story.
All these downloads, and I still have so much memory thanks to the cloud backup.
Oh, wow! Thanks to the anti-theft feature, I can track and lock my phone even when it goes missing.
What's your story? Make the right decision by securing information on your mobile phone with MTN Protect. Text SD to 1359 and experience real security solutions like cloud backup, antivirus, anti-theft, and a lot more everywhere you go.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We're on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
From the capital city of Ghana, let Airpeace seamlessly connect you to the beautiful lands of the west coast of Africa through the tourist islands of Banjul, the peninsular ambience of Dakar, the captivating coasts of Monrovia, the commercial city of Lagos, and the seat of power, Abuja. From the 2nd of September 2018.
Fly Airpeace from Accra to Banjul, Dakar, Monrovia, Lagos, and Abuja.
Our flights and cabin crew are professional, courteous, and fun.
Check in 2 pieces of free luggage totaling 30 kg in economy and 40 kg in business class, and earn Peace points anytime you fly Airpeace.
For bookings, log on to flyairpeace.com or visit Kotoka International Airport, Accra, or travel agents nationwide.
Airpeace, your peace, our goal.
Kwame, what's up here?
My brother, my wife has been diagnosed with cancer.
What? My brother is here with kidney disease too.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the World Health Organization estimates that over 16,000 new cases of cancers are diagnosed annually in Ghana, and kidney diseases account for 10% of all medical admissions to Kolebu?
But thanks to Glyco-Critical Illness Plan, GSIP, I have spent over 20,000 Ghana cedis on my younger brother's disease. Yeah. What is GSIP?
Glyco-Critical Illness Plan, GSIP, provides you with financial support when diagnosed with any critical illness or dread disease such as cancers, strokes, kidney failures. Speak to GlycoLife today on 0302-218-500 for your GSIP policy. It is definitely in our interest to survive. GlycoLife, we cushion you for life.
Good morning, everyone.
It's Karen and Daryl with the Joy Business Minutes.
Government word from today: start accepting bids from firms interested in owning new blocks in the country. The competitive bidding will last over 8 months and will look out for firms with the required capital to develop the country's oil fields.
Filipino firm Morocco is expected to officially take over ECG from the middle of January next year. Early this year, Parliament approved the partial privatization of the electricity company under the Second Millennium Challenge Compact.
The Bank of Ghana is working on a model to be issued to all commercial banks. This is a measure to curb the rising economic and cyber crimes in the banking sector.
All your stationery needs under one roof and great deals on some products. This awaits patrons of the Joy FM Back to School Fair, which opens at the Providence Center at Trade Fair here in Accra.
Are you passing through, Karen?
Definitely, Daryl. I've already got a list.
We'll be joining you. There are more stories on our website, myjoyonline.com.
And we'll be back at 3:06.
It's 12 minutes past 9 on the Super Morning Show in Joy FM. Shortly, we'll be wrapping up on our conversation about the sexual abuse of this 9-year-old. Nino Tedia is here. Notedia is here. He's the host of Ultimate Health here on Joy FM every Sunday afternoon. And of course, Inimado, a usual suspect here on the Super Morning Show. Before we go ahead, as part of the 80th anniversary celebrations, Presbyterian Boys Senior High School and the Odadia Global Association present the Presec at 80 Grand Derby, dubbed Our Powerful Past, Prosperous Present and Prominent Future. The date is Saturday, 15th September 2018. The venue is Presec School Grounds. Time is 10 a.m. prompt. Chairman is Right Honourable Professor Odadia Michael Quay. Speaker of Parliament and special guest of honour is His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. Dress code is Presec at 80 Anniversary Cloth. Now, text messages are brought to you by Afrodan, your back must last you a lifetime, and Glyco Travel Insurance Policy, we cushion you for life. Afrodan is offering you today the most comfortable chair in the world. Period. The Nightingale Extreme Comfort Chair. With over 10 thoughtfully engineered features, especially customized for your health and comfort, working has never had is this good. So go to Afrodan on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Feel this chair, you'll be amazed. Let me come back to my friends in studio for final comments on this matter, and then we move on. I feel we must give parents some power. How do we keep our children safe from predators like this? Thankfully, I have two professionals in the studio with me. Anymore, you go first.
Okay, so I got a text message which really struck me. And she said, I told my daughter at age 3 not to hug and sit on uncle's laps. Part of the family said that my daughter was being taught about sex too early. I had to teach her how to wash herself so that no auntie would offer to do that. I was told I'm weird by other mothers and other female members of the family. Today, those same people. I banned comments like, hey, my wife, sweetheart. No, not around my daughter. I speak up for her so she understood very early what was acceptable and what wasn't. Sexualizing our kids too early and allowing friends to groom them too early. And she's saying that she did this in 1996 with her daughter. I did it with my daughter as well. And sometimes we're afraid to talk to our children about sex, around the issues of sex. We feel that they are too young. But I would rather expose them to a difficult conversation with me in a safe place than not give them the tools that they need to be able to say no, to be able to shout, or to be able to not come to mommy and say, this person did this or this person did that. So I think that a lot of the responsibility is on us as parents to start having these conversations from a very young age, regardless of how uncomfortable.
Younger than 9 years old, Ni?
Well, obviously.
You know, kids are developing earlier, right? And even when I started this kind of work, we didn't have social media. So you can imagine how the danger has multiplied.
Exactly.
Let me say this to parents. Know your children. Talk to your children, right? And check up about anything and everything. Just the fact that mommy or daddy will check keeps your child in check. Check. Be bold and unafraid when it comes to interacting with school and other intermediaries, right? Let them know. It could be Sunday school. It could be anywhere, right? Anytime you feel comfortable, you let your guard down. I'm not saying this girl is to blame, right? But this is a person in authority. So parents should feel free. Just the fact that daddy, mommy will ask, where is this toy from? Where is this sweet from?
Yeah.
Who bought you this? We seem to have dropped some of those things. And I will look for the document I referred to, Daniel, the Safe Schools Project.
Yeah.
Because it equips teachers, children, and everything, and actually designates persons and people you can talk to about these things. And we did that with, I think, donor support. We have a lot of capacity we've built, but we just don't use it. And let me hit hard on the GES and the structures we have, the gender ministry. I know from listening to you, Daniel, that this story has come to us downstream. To many people, it sounds like it happened yesterday. But if you listen to the
narration and what has gone on so far, it's actually gone on for a while.
This has been
in
the oven for a while.
The suspect has gone to the family.
And it brings me to my point. This post-mortem that we do much better work when we do the preventive stuff that Enuma and I are, talking about.
Which is why it's important.
It's important that we talk about it. And it's important, I beseech you, if I use that word, right, that we come back to this issue. There's several strands of it that I would want to come back on. And I feel, let me use this word, violated when some of the things we need to discuss are not discussed, because I know what morning radio and commercial radio is like. Let us promise that we'll come back to this and look at the intricate strands of it and do justice to it. The same way we'll do justice to the financial sector rot.
Of course.
Right. So let's promise that we'll come back. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. What I will promise is that we cannot let this case die. So we would definitely come back to this. And Notedia, if you'll be kind enough to join us at a later date, we would come calling once again. It's 18 minutes past 9. There's another very, very difficult story that we have to touch on briefly before we go ahead. Remember, I told you about Peter Frimpong, a factory worker in Kumasi. Now, 19-year-old Peter has been stabbed in his neck, his back, and in his palm by his Chinese employer over laxity at work. So really, workplace productivity is important, and I'm sure that in your office, like every other office, there's a manager who makes sure workers perform at their maximum. Like how teachers and parents always insist students study hard, right? But really, this Chinese employer has taken this to dizzying heights by stabbing someone and putting his life in danger. We're bringing you that disturbing story today. Erastus Asaridonko in Kumasi gathered this.
I was sitting whilst working with a pair of scissors, and the manager came in. He asked me why I was holding the pair of scissors. Then he said he doesn't like people holding onto the pair of scissors. I put the scissors on the table. He picked it up and angrily drove it into the table close to me. Then he started shouting and insulting me. He moved to slap me, and I dodged. He nearly fell down. Then his colleague rushed in and slapped me and pushed me to the ground. When we were wrestling on the ground, the other stabbed me at the back with the scissors. The boys moved me, and then they both wrestled me again and pushed me to a corner and stabbed me further with the scissors.
And that was the victim, Peter Frimpong himself, and his account of what happened. The first question really that comes to my mind anymore: how can this happen in a country with laws?
Oh, but it happened with Mawako. Have you forgotten?
No, I haven't.
A few months ago. It happened. We talked about it. We got angry. We boycotted them. We said we won't go there. Well, some people said they won't go there. Some people continued going there. And then I think they settled out of court in the end.
I'm not sure they settled out. They haven't. They haven't settled out of court.
Okay, so but I remember very well that there was an offer to settle out of court.
Exactly.
Yes, and so that was it. So of course it happens. We don't exactly create an environment all the time where people are afraid to maltreat people. I get angry, and for fear of sounding racist, but I'm going to say how I feel anyway. I get angry because a lot of foreigners come into the country and they treat us anyhow. But they treat us anyhow because we allow them to. Because we place more value on the foreigner than we do on the Ghanaian. And the way that we treat them. I remember I went to a shop once and I was buying stuff and I was in a line. And, you know, the woman at the till actually called for the foreigners who were behind me to come and pay. And she said to me, oh, please let them come and pay because they're in a hurry. And I'm like, what gave you the indication that I wasn't in a hurry? I'm giving this example because it's not the first time and it's not the only time that I've seen it happen. So in terms of foreigners treating Ghana, there's Ghanaian on Ghanaian assault. Yes, that's one. But this, for me, it's...
Which is why I want to ask, Malik, is this a foreigner Ghanaian thing?
Not quite. There are Ghanaian employers who abuse their employees. In fact, it is commonplace. Sometimes it's actually expected that the employer will abuse, rant, rave, sometimes physically assault, depending on the nature of the industry in which the employment is. The employer often is, especially in the informal sector, has power and authority to abuse, manhandle, even assault the employee. And it is, in some cases, actually accepted. It's acceptable for the employer to do that. So this is a...
But in extreme cases like stabbing, I will tell you this. I know of an oil sector worker who was chained to a tank for a few hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I just laying the grounds not to say that it is permissible or acceptable, because I mean our own constitution says that the dignity of all persons shall be inviolable, and to subject somebody, an employer, to this kind of treatment, whether verbal abuse or physical assault, is violating the person's dignity, and that is not permissible. And of course, our criminal laws do not permit that anybody can inflict unlawful violence on any person. So, but it does happen, and I think that the foreigners tend to do it because they see it happen. They see the Ghanaians do it to fellow Ghanaians, and so and usually
we are giving them the permission.
And usually, I think they also feel that nothing will happen even if they abuse any other person's rights. Nothing will happen. In the case of the Jihad Shaban case, and of course he was sentenced to 9 months.
9 months.
9 months. In the case, but for the media and the general public's outreach and anger, that case would have ended nowhere.
Okay.
They would have made an offer. In fact, they would not have made an offer. I think they only made an offer because it became a public discussion and there was anger and outrage, and so they had to do something. They went to court and they were trying to make an offer which was rejected. But these things happen almost all the time. Again, which means what effort do we put in protecting our rights? What does the state itself do in protecting the rights of citizens. And the state agencies, what do they do to protect the citizens' rights?
I think it must begin with this particular case, where the two persons involved in this case must be made to face the law, no matter their nationality. For me, it doesn't matter which nationality they are. They must be made to face the law fully, to send that message clearly that, like Jihad Shaban, you can't do things like this and get away with them. The more we make it unattractive to violate people's human rights, the smaller number of cases we will see eventually. We need to take these important messages. When we come back, I hope your shopping lists are ready. Those of you who are already at the Joy Back to School Fair, or you are on your way, I hope your shopping lists are ready. We will definitely help you to cut them down to size in a way that will please the children the most. Charles Mensah is here. I can see him, and we will bring you that. But before we go, take a listen to this.
Even as I'm going to the next class, I'm expecting my parents to buy me new bags, new shoes, stationery, and new books.
I want a shoe, a bag, and the pencil case, the pencil, the ruler, and the sharpener, and the eraser, and the color pencils.
What's your thing? A high baller, always after the bigger picture. Living your life in boardrooms, transiting through VIP lounges into first or business class. Sipping on some way while flipping through pages of FT and Bloomberg. What's your thing? Your life is busy and your schedule is crazy. But when you can make some time, you try to unwind with some jazz or high life. Over some drinks with friends, but the business talk never ends, even at the bar. Live the life you love on the go with the Stanbic Bank mobile app. Stanbic Bank, moving forward.
Honey, I'm off and I just grabbed Delaire. Make sure you grab some for the kids too. With new Delaire fruit yogurt, you need more and more. Delaire fruit yogurt, deliciously creamy and thick. It comes in fruit cocktail, strawberry, vanilla, and natural flavors. Adults like Delaire yogurt. Kids love Delaire fruit yogurt. Contact Soticam Ghana Limited, located at Manette Junction off the Spintex Road. Call 0554 018 894. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello, madam. Mommy has malaria. She said I should come and buy Hexapin and Agazone and Talumodino Nabutolosis.
Hey, Bayo, this malaria and you are stressing like this? Get Novamita. Novamita kills malaria parasites and comes in a special pack that fits into your pocket, wallet, or purse, so you never forget your daily dose. And if she has resultant anemia, give her 3FA. 3FA is a blood tonic.
Always get tested for malaria before taking medications. If you are pregnant or a lactating mother, seek medical advice first. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Novamita and 3FA is manufactured and distributed by Pharmanova Limited. Locate them at Osu at number 3 Okodan Street or call 054 31 71 894.
Novamita, sort with malaria one touch. Any 3FA, anemia, away. Novamita.
Shower to kill malaria.
Airtel Tigo is undergoing a nationwide network upgrade so that we can provide you with wider coverage, faster internet, and super clear calls. This network upgrade is going to be a smooth one. However, in situations where you have a network challenge, such as no service or emergency, kindly visit any Airtel Tigo shop or SIM upgrade center nationwide to upgrade your SIM for free. You can also call Airtel Tigo on 100 or 0277 551 000 or 0260 000 100. For more information, as we fully round up on our network upgrade. This upgrade will not affect your Airtel Tigo Money account, airtime, or phone contacts. It's what we've all been waiting for, as we give you a bigger, better, stronger network that gives you the most. Airtel Tigo.
Same great bank, helping you grow.
Do you have challenges transferring money to your friends or customers with accounts at other banks? Are you worried at the delays with other banks' checks you deposit into your account? Do you have challenges paying your workers or suppliers instantly across banks? You don't need to wait for 2 days anymore. Walk into any ADB branch today and send your money instantly to any account in Ghana. or link ADB Instant Pay to your accounting software for all salaries and payments. You can also access ADB Instant Pay service on our mobile banking app, internet banking, and *767#. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
Getting extra sports channels for a whole week will feel like when your team scores a goal in the final against your friend's team.
Yeah, take that. Did you see that?
Pay your DSTV on time and get a 7-day sport upgrade at no additional cost. That means Access and family customers get Compact Sports channels, while Compact and Compact Plus customers get premium sports channels. Now that's a reason to celebrate. DSTV thanks. T's and C's apply.
Every day we wait for so many things. We wait for the bus. We wait for our lunch to be served. We wait for the workday to be over. We wait for our favorite TV show to begin. But you know what's waiting for you now? The world. Enjoy Emirates special fares to many exciting destinations around the world and earn double Emirates Skywards miles. Book by 10th September for travel from 3rd September 2018 until 31st March 2019. Conditions apply. Visit emirates.com/gh.
Joy 99.7 FM.
It's 29 minutes at the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's been a very some way morning. We've talked about rape, well, sexual abuse, if you want to be technical.
We've talked about that.
We've talked about
Assault.
6 people dying
Yes.
out of the flood, and then we've talked about assault.
Yes.
I think it's time to lift our spirits.
I think.
You know anyone, because we are about to talk about money.
So I don't know.
But this is how this is going to lift your spirits anymore. Because we are going to tell you how you can save money. How about that?
And then you're going to give me money.
It's a for this anymore and hey, give me money thing. Charles Mensa said, Charles, you have to help me out too.
I'll try.
All right. But before we go into all of that, get the Glyco travel insurance policy designed to cover travel costs and reduce the risk associated with unexpected events during your international and domestic travels to Europe, the Schengen countries, or anywhere worldwide. Talk to us today on 055-530-5547 or 020-887-6956. Open an ADB account today. Send your name and account number to your relations abroad. Ask them to use MoneyGram Direct to Account service and receive your money in your account in minutes. With MoneyGram Direct to Account service, there is no PIN code wahala. ADB, truly, a Greek and more. Now, the third Kojo Redu Memorial Lecture will take place at the Ghana-India Kofi Annan Center for ICT Excellence, Ridge, Accra. The date is Thursday, September 30, 2018. Time is 4 p.m. The lecture is on protecting the public purse, keeping the gate shut before the horse bolts. It will be delivered by Auditor General Dr. Daniel or Mr. Daniel Domelevo. The chairperson is Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, Executive Director, Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Ghana. This event is supported by Multimedia Group. Right, so let's get talking about how we can save money when we are shopping. But remember, all roads lead to the Providence Event Center, Trade Fair Center, La Accra, for the Back to School Fair, the Joy FM Back to School Fair, which has started in earnest. It started just over an hour ago at 8 a.m.
Yes.
Charles Mensah is with us in the studio, financial analyst. Charles, welcome once again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. I'll begin with Enimado, who is dancing to music that is not playing. Anyway, you see, you people watch us on Facebook. You will see things, man. You will see things, man, and YouTube as well. Anyway, so Enimwa, we have been working on a shopping list for kids going back to school.
Yes. Okay, so standard, apart from the voices, standard shopping list. And on top of almost every child's shopping list is a school bag. Now, please, may I at this point state that there are differences in school bags and there are levels. So there's the regular bag that you put on your back. And then there's the dragging bag. You know, the one like the little suitcase. So that's what's in vogue at the moment. So a lot of the kids are like, I want a bag, but I want the one that drags on the floor. And obviously,
where are they going with
I'm talking about, obviously, this is primary, lower primary, upper primary. What do you mean where are they going? They said their books are too heavy.
So they can't carry them on their backs anymore?
No, they need to drag it. You don't understand. Please.
No,
anyway,
I don't, clearly.
Clearly. So, I mean, for a regular bag, you're looking at about 60 to 80 CDs. For the dragging bags, you're looking about 120 to about 200 CDs, depending on how many times in the term you want to buy a school bag. Because if you go for the lower end dragging ones, in a few weeks, most of the time, you'll see that they'll come apart or the pole will come out or something. Unless you take it to your local steelworks for them to reinforce the steel, or your local Adieye for them to, restitch everything so that it is fortified. Most kids want new shoes. You're looking at about 30 CDs for the China ones that they sell on the roadside. So about 60 CDs if you find a good shop that's on sale, all the way up to about 120 to 150 for a good pair of black shoes, which will last the term. Emphasis is on lasting the term. If you go for the lower end one, chances are you'll change shoes a couple of times in the term. Now, socks. We all know how our kids' socks somehow end up with holes because somehow in the hours when they are not at home, at some point they take off their shoes and they walk with their socks. So you're looking maybe at least 4 or 5 pair of socks. That's about at 6 CDs a pair of socks. Most of the schools have prescribed socks. Standard price is about 6 CDs. So you're looking at about 5 for one kid. So that's about 30 CDs. You're looking at singlets. Now, the other big thing that costs these days is school uniforms. A lot of the private schools are selling the uniform because they have crests. So you have to buy from the school. Average price for 2 pairs is 120 to 150. If your kids are going as fast as mine, then you're changing school uniforms every term because otherwise they are too short, they are too tight. So that's about 120, 150 for 2. Now, unless you want to wash every day, chances are you're going to want 4 so that you're washing midweek, and then you have some, there's the PE kit, which is about 40 to 60. There's a school t-shirt, which is about 40. There's the pencil case, stationery, crayons, pens, pencils, rulers, sharpeners. Budget maybe about 60, 70 CDs for all of that. If you buy the cheap crayon, in 1 week, they would have broken it and chewed half. If you buy
even if you buy the expensive ones, in 1 week, they may lose
them. They may lose it, but
and it goes for the socks as well.
Yeah, it's just, we are being hopeful, that's when you have the talk about take care of your things, they'll take care of your things.
Romans 5:5, hope does not disappoint.
Thank you, but hope deferred makes the heart sick. So
that's not in the Bible though.
It isn't? For real? Okay, moving on. And then obviously there's snacks, there's food, there's school books, there's extra tuition, there's extra books if you want to reinforce what the kids are being learned. So I would say that for this reopening of school, you're looking about 700, 800 CDs if you're buying everything fresh.
Wow.
Because they are moving to a new class as well, remember. We're in September, so they're moving to a new class. They've had a long vacation, which means they've had a lot of time to stay at home and eat and grow fat. So chances are their school uniforms are not fitting. So you're looking 600, 700 on the high side, and at least about 200 when that's outside of school fees.
Okay. When I was listening to, Charles, I'm coming to you. When I was listening to Enimwa speak, I was thinking that you have a very tough job because she has told us that if you want quality, you may have to spend more so it lasts longer. But really, how can we save on this like this?
Thank you very much for having me. And I like her position and describing the bags, the dragging. Listen, it's about sustainability. You can't start your kids on something that you cannot sustain. And therefore, if you're in a habit of shopping for your kids each time school reopens, getting them new bags, getting them new shoes, ideally it's fair, it's good. But can you sustain it? Would your income sustain it? How many kids do you have? Maybe you have 3 kids. Maybe you are supporting your cousin's kids, or maybe you are supporting an auntie's kids. When you put them together, can you sustain that? So the first thing that you have to do is to make a list and quantify the list. Now, when I say quantify the list, the figures will be there. Find out whether it is for the term or for the year. Now, if you do the term one, you probably have to do the year one. And when you match it carefully, you probably will see, okay, I cannot afford this for every term. And therefore, there are certain items that I will select which can cover them for the whole class, i.e., he would use it for the first term, second term, and third term. Very, very important. There are items that you would only use for just the term. And therefore, maybe, yes, I can spend only 100 cedis for the term. But if you are in a situation where you have more kids that you are looking after, then you got to plan ahead of time. These kids didn't grow up just overnight to go to class 1 or Form 1 or class 2 or class 3. And then the school term was announced ahead of time. Some of these things, we knew it or we know it. And therefore, we have to plan much, much earlier.
Yeah.
If it is that you were saving a certain amount of cash every month, either through the salary that you are earning or through the trading, a certain percentage was being kept either through your mobile money account or some insurance or whatever it is, at least you should plan ahead. Therefore, when you plan ahead, you can cash out when the term opens.
Okay.
You don't have any challenge. But if you didn't plan ahead, this is the time that you'll be worried and you'll be probably rushing to your employers looking for salary advance. You may
to
or
cover
you may,
it.
yeah, to cover it. You may or you may not get it. Now, for me, you should always discuss things with your kids. Please start them on something that is sustainable. Not kills kids. If you can't buy, you buy this time and the next day you can't buy it. They don't like it.
I like the direction in which Charles always picks issues. It's always a mindset thing for Charles, and I've noticed this whenever we're having conversations like this. So, he's talked to us about planning early and determining items that can last more than a term.
Great.
But really, it goes into a mindset of sustainability. I'm putting a pin in this. We'll take these messages and come back, allow you to continue, and then we'll move on. If you have any questions, you can send them in on 0244 340 437. Stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show.
Your office they shine. Oh.
Yes, so I tell you, say for proper and modern ceiling solutions, the answer be Interface Limited. Them get in stock acoustic ceilings where you go fit make your office fine like my own.
Or even better pass your own self.
We can better pass my own.
Shall I go Interface right now?
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
What's your thing? A high baller, always after the bigger picture. Living your life in boardrooms, transiting through VIP lounges into first or business class. Sipping on some whey while flipping through pages of FT and Bloomberg. What's your thing? Your life is busy and your schedule is crazy. But when you can make some time, you try to unwind with some jazz or high life. Over some drinks with friends, but the business talk never ends, even at the bar. Live the life you love on the go with the Stanbic Bank mobile app. Stanbic Bank, moving forward.
I am Dr. Acacia. Acacia gives your workers the best customer service and treatment options when the need arises, keeping them healthier and more productive for your business. Acacia Health Insurance. We place value on those you value.
Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! Media is 50! Media, your #1 air conditioner and appliance manufacturer, is 50 years old. 50 years of top-notch quality, and we're celebrating it big. Starting from 15% discount on appliances from any Media showroom or authorized reseller. Join the celebration of Media at 50. We have amazing home appliances at great discounts. Tabletop fridges starting at 499 Ghana cedis. 4-burner gas cookers starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Chest freezers are also starting at 799 Ghana cedis. Blow the candles, sound the trumpet, and scream! And so many appliances for you to choose from. One so better, dear. Remember, it's a celebration. It's Media at 50 big sales on appliances. Visit a Media showroom or authorized reseller now, or call us on 0503 400 600. It's the Media at 50 promotion. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the Laugh Cousin Fiesta with the best of African comedians at Glow Laughter Fest at Fantasy Dome, Trade Fair Center, Accra, 9th of September, featuring Basketmouth, Bovi, Salvador, Senator, Dan the Humorous, Chemical, Shaylo, Godons, Jacinta, DKB, and Foster Romanus. To gain entry, just dial *5301# and use 20 Ghana cedis on voice or 30 Ghana cedis on voice and data within 30 days. Glow Laughter Fest. Don't miss out.
Tickets available at all Glow World shops. The grandmasters of data. Glow Ghana.
Did you know that bed bugs are dangerous insect pests that cause sleeplessness, tiredness, body rashes, anemia due to blood loss, and general discomfort to humans? Unfortunately, they are so difficult to get rid of. They spread in your beddings, your child's beddings in boarding schools, bags, lockers, clothes, everywhere. You may not see them all, but they are there. That's why you need the Innisfly Bed Bug Solution, a ready-to-use effective solution. All you have to do is shake it and spray infested areas, wait for it to dry, and that's it.
Yes, spray the bedbugs out with Innisfly Bedbug Solution now. Households, boarding schools, and other institutions with minor and major bedbug infestations.
Call 05777010000.
Innisfly, beautiful protection.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I had to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Super Morning Show.
It's 14 minutes past 9 on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Let me say good morning to all of our good friends who are texting us and say that the Holy Spirit has revealed to me that He has decided to include hope deferred makes the heart makes the heart sick. He's decided to include this in the Bible, and so
like after your
and so a correction has been made in the cosmos. It's in Proverbs 13:12. Good morning to all of our good friends.
Your nyamisum is in question. You.
Good morning to all of our good friends now from Spintex and Mukaila and all the people who are sending us messages. Good morning to the Holy Spirit spoke to me before. I was going to say it, but we're on break, so I mean, yeah. But we are getting back to our main topic for conversation. We have looked at the list that Enimwa has taken us through. Items that you would agree with me are essential for children when they are reopening school. And Charles Mensah is a financial analyst. He's helping us to cut costs on that's the first point. Have a mindset for sustainability. Items that will last long. 2, determine these items that can last more than one term. And 3, plan early so you can raise the funds to buy these items. Charles, I'm coming back to you.
Yeah. I mean, basically, see, there are two things. It's the revenue and expenditure. Now, you can either plan starting from the expenditure so that you build up all the expenditures, you total how much you're going to spend on the kids, the school fees, the upkeep money, and so on and so forth. When you put them together, and it gives you a certain amount. Now, how are you going to fund that totality? You're going to fund it through salaries. There are others also who work from the revenue side and say, I'm spending a certain percentage of my salary on my kids' education.
Is it possible, though, to say that, okay, I'm not going to spend more than 500 cedis, when realistically, you are not the one who determines the cost that goes into your child's education?
But you are
there's the teacher, but then there's the school. The school would demand ABC, and then there is education authorities. They can choose to, God forbid, reverse free SHS tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? Yes. So, is that in your hands as an individual?
Of course it's in your hands. Of course you should have a fair idea. I mean, Ghanaians naturally have choice. And thinking that my kid will go to a certain secondary school, a certain primary school, or a certain crèche, you probably would do inquiries to see what is the cost of sending my kids there. And that can be rolled back. And then you can plan how you're going to fund it. It's a funding that is where we have a challenge, or we should have a challenge that yes, when it gets there, I know what I'm going to buy. But can I afford it? That's a real issue. I know every parent knows what a kid needs, but it is the affordability and the sustainability which is key. And these two things can be harnessed properly if you have a protective level of income and it's growing. Okay. But where your income is not predictable, where you are trading because this month X amount comes in, next month nothing comes in. You are even in the corporate world, tomorrow you lose your job. So anything can happen.
Okay.
But can you sustain it? Because can you imagine kids or parents who are sending their kids to a certain school and all of a sudden they've lost their job? How are you going to explain to the kids that you cannot go to school? So these are the real
Exactly.
That's why I'm looking at the sustainability. Do things that you can sustain it.
Let me take that point to Enimwa. And of course, as listeners have heard, Enimwa is a certified psychologist. And really, how do you build sustainability mindset with your children when they already have high expectations?
Honest conversations. It's really very simple. Sometimes we think our children are not able to process and are not able to understand. The thing is, children are so tenacious, and they have such a strong buffer thing around them. And the other thing is that they perceive more than we say. So it's, by the time you've lost your job and you're going through a tough time and you feel like you're hiding it from them, they've actually perceived the change in mood, the change in the way that you relate. And so you're actually doing them no favors by not talking to them. And in talking to them, you're also preparing them for life. So it's really, sweetheart, I love you. I want to be able to get you this and get you that, like I've always done. But mommy has lost her job right now. And so things are going to be tough for a while. So we're on a budget. I remember something I do with my kids all the time is when over the weekend, we'll usually pick one day and go out and we'll go and get something and I'll spend a little on them and just have a good time for having a good time's sake. And last weekend I did it. I said to my kids, you know what, this weekend we're on a budget. So we're not going to do this that we usually do and this that we usually do and this that we usually do. But what we are going to do is I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to put my books down and all of that and I'm going to watch a cartoon with you. And we did that. And it was amazing. I mean, I cried during the cartoon and my kids were laughing at me. But, sometimes it's quality over quantity. Sometimes we place too much importance on the school bags and on the things that we think we're providing for them. I think sometimes our ability to provide for our children validates us more than it gives to them what they need. Because ultimately, what they need is stability, security, is honesty, is saying, I can do this, I can't do this, and this is where we are.
Charlie, you have some deep girl. No, Charlie. Enimwa, no, in fact, I think Enimwa deserves some accolades. On this I can see the smile on Charles Min says, Charlie, what's that thing what's that you ended with? Sometimes what we are providing for our children validates us more than it provides for them. And it's very profound.
Spot on.
Because my kids go to this school. I pay this amount of school. I mean, this conversation has come up in newsroom. If I don't tell you the rich people in the newsroom who are shouting their children's school fees, they are listening to me now. But
because can I just chip this in? What are the things you remember the most about your childhood? It's not really the things. It's the moments with your parents.
Anyway, I really like some pair of shoes that I got.
That's for you, dear. Really?
No, but for real. There were more of the moments than the things. Charles, all too soon. We would have to wrap up. So let me take final comments from you, Charles, and then we go.
I think my final comment is that, look, even having sorted yourself out this term, it's bound to happen next year. So we shouldn't stop planning. That's all. We shouldn't stop planning. We shouldn't stop putting money aside for the kids' school fees. Because once you've had kids, then education comes first. Then a certain percentage must be set aside. Even if we have a free SHS, still put some money aside to support your kids. Because it's a long-term investment which will earn you steady income in future.
Thank you very much, Charles Mensah, ending with those words of wisdom. Now, speaking of providing for our children, you no longer have to worry about the stress of shopping for your wards. The Joy FM Back to School Fair brings together all vendors under one roof. So here's one thing you can knock off your shopping list: cost of fuel. Just drive to the Providence Event Center, Trade Fair Center, Accra, and that's all you need. You can even take a Trotro and an Uber, whatever. When you get to that one place, you don't need to roam about. Energy cost also goes down. And from today, Friday the 7th of September to Sunday the 9th of September, you can get everything you need at free admission When you go there, you shop for whatever you need. The Joy FM Back to School Fair is brought to you by Nataraj, by JK Industries and Investments Limited. Nataraj, easy to erase and sharpen. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. MTN Mobile Money, just Momo it everywhere you go. Pepsi, own the moment, still 1 Ghana cedi per. BIC always gives you more. Educare plan from Enterprise Life. Enterprise, your advantage. Now, the HR Focus presents another groundbreaking event for Ghana HR change makers. This is a 2-day summit comprising an exclusive group of senior HR executives from both the public and private sectors who will lead the drive for HR transformation in Ghana. The date is 19th and 20th September 2018. Time is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Venue is Tang Palace, Roman Ridge. For further inquiries, contact Daniel on 020-793-7708. HR Changemakers, transforming the face of HR management in Ghana. We're gonna take these important messages. But before that, let me go on the phone lines because I have an update for you. I've been joined on the phone by Nana Ansakwa, host of That's My Opinion on Joy FM every Monday evening. And we understand, Nana, that we have some good news.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I got this call yesterday from an ardent listener of Joy FM who was really touched and saddened by this girl that's been literally defiled. And so he says that, the girl should be sent to hospital. His main aim is to make sure that she can walk again. So I think it's a very nice thing for him to do. We say thank you on the girl's behalf to him.
Great. Thank you very much, Nana Sakwa, for coming in with this great news. So I guess this song is in order.
Listening to